All right, let's just jump right in. The goal here is simple: to make the 5 marks for map work in your social science exam an absolute guaranteed win. I want you to think about it like this. After we're done, your 80-mark paper is basically a 75-mark paper because those first 5 marks, yeah, they're already in the bag.
Yep, 5. That's the magic number we're talking about. And these aren't points you have to struggle to earn. They're points that are just sitting there waiting for you to claim them. This session right here, this is the key that unlocks them.
So where do these 5 marks even come from? It's broken down really simply. You've got 2 marks coming from history and the other 3 from geography. We're going to tackle them one by one, and we'll kick things off with history. Okay, let's dive into this. We're starting with those first 2 marks from history. Now, the syllabus pulls from 3 different chapters, but don't sweat it. The actual spots you need to know are super specific and honestly pretty easy to remember. First up, the French Revolution. You only need to be able to find 4 cities on a map of France. Paris, well, that's the capital, that's the easy one, but remember the story behind the others. Nantes and Bordeaux, these were huge port cities, right at the heart of the slave trade. And Marseille, that's the city where volunteers marched to Paris, singing a song that, you guessed it, became the French national anthem. Okay, next up, World War I. For map purposes, it really just boils down to knowing the 2 major teams. On one side, you have the Central Powers, that's the German, Austro-Hungarian, and Ottoman empires, and on the other side, the Allied powers, France, England, Russia, and the USA. Just focus on who was on which team.
Now, when we jump to World War II, you're going to see some familiar faces. The Allied powers, largely the same, though you'll see Russia, now called the USSR. The big switch-up is on the other side, which are now called the Axis powers. Germany is still there, but now they're joined by 2 new major players you need to be able to find: Italy and Japan.
And boom, just like that, you've got everything you need for your 2 history marks. Seriously, give yourself a pat on the back. Now, let's keep the momentum going and tackle the bigger challenge, those 3 marks from geography.
All right, welcome to Part 2, the Geography Expedition. This is where we'll snag the bulk of the marks, with 3 points up for grabs. But the game plan is exactly the same. We're going to break it all down into simple, memorable pieces, starting with the absolute basics of India's map.
First things first, let's get down the 2 imaginary lines you gotta know. The Tropic of Cancer, which slices across 8 states, and the Standard Meridian, the line that sets our time zone. After that, you just need to be able to point out all of India's neighbors, both the ones we share a land border with and our sea neighbors, Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Next up, mountain ranges. We'll start up at the very top with the Karakoram and Zaskar ranges, then move down to the Shivaliks. In central India, you need to know the Vindhya and Satpura. And here's a pro tip for the coasts. The Western Ghats are one long, continuous range, but the Eastern Ghats are broken up. Knowing that little detail makes you look sharp. Beyond the big ranges, you need to be able to pinpoint 3 specific peaks: K2, way up north, Kanchenjunga in the east, and Ane Mudi, which is the highest peak down in the Western Ghats. You'll also need to be able to outline the 3 main plateaus: the giant Deccan Plateau, the mineral-rich Chota Nagpur Plateau, and the Malwa Plateau. And to wrap up the physical features, let's run along the coastline. It's super simple. On the west side, you have the Konkan Coast up top, and the Malabar Coast at the bottom. Then just hop over to the east side, you've got the Coromandel Coast in the south, and the northern Sirkar right above it. Easy.
When it comes to the drainage chapter, it's all about the main rivers and 4 key lakes. Make sure you can tell the difference between the big Himalayan rivers, like the Indus and the Ganga, and the important peninsular rivers like the Narmada, Godavari, and Kaveri.
Okay, hold on. I know what a bunch of you are probably thinking right now. You've seen natural vegetation and wildlife listed in the syllabus for map work, and it's always this point of major confusion. So let's clear that up once and for all. What's the deal with that chapter?
This right here is a little bit of insider info, a syllabus secret that is going to save you a whole lot of stress and study time. Let's look at what the official exam paper won't ask you, because it's probably not what you think.
So here's the secret. While the official syllabus does mention that chapter, the list of actual map items you're required to know from it is completely blank, empty. There's nothing there. This means you are not required to know any map points from this chapter for your final exam. Now, of course, always listen to your school teacher, but otherwise, you can safely focus your energy somewhere else.
All right, with that myth totally busted, let's just quickly knock out the last 2 topics to finish our geography map syllabus. These are really simple, direct points from the climate and population chapters.
From the climate chapter, it's about as simple as it gets. It's all about the direction of the monsoon winds. You just have to show that the advancing monsoon comes from the southwest, and the retreating monsoon comes from the northeast. That is literally it.
And for our very last point, from the population chapter, you just need to know the two states at the extreme ends of population density. So be ready to locate Bihar, the state with the highest density, and Arunachal Pradesh, the state with the lowest.
And there you have it. You literally now have all the information you need to claim those 5 marks. So, what's the final mission? Let's turn this knowledge into a guaranteed score with a super simple 3-step action plan.
Here is your path to getting full marks. 1. Just review the specific locations we've covered. 2, and this is my favorite tip, I need you to pinky promise me that you'll hang a political map of India somewhere you can see it every day. Just by having it there, you'll start to absorb it without any extra effort. And finally, step 3. You're going to walk into that exam hall and you're going to claim those 5 marks with complete confidence.
So, congratulations! You have officially turned an 80-mark paper into a 75-mark paper. The map section is no longer a question mark. It's a sure thing. The only question left is, with that out of the way, which part of the remaining 75 marks are you going to conquer next? Good luck!